Hello, this is Shivanand Thorat. Welcome to the second session of webinar on Introduction to the Basics of 7th edition APS Style 2020. In the last session, I have covered notable changes in the 7th edition APS Style. In this session, I will be covering the 7th edition APA format setup in Microsoft Word, followed by tips and shortcuts which will help you to speed up your paper writing work and will generally make things convenient. You can interact and drop your queries in the live chat section. I will try and answer those during and after the stream ends. Before we jump in, a quick reminder to check my YouTube channel where I upload informative videos on different topics related to psychology, research methodology, psychometrics, and statistical analysis. Consider subscribing to my channel if you find content helpful and press bell icon to receive notifications of my upcoming videos and webinars. Important note regarding the e-certificate. Please check the video description section for the link to fill up an e-certificate form after the end of this session. This link is not active now and will get activated after this session ends and will remain active till 10 p.m. tonight. Kindly fill an e-certificate form after this session ends. Please note that it will take around 8 to 10 days for our technical team to generate an e-certificate for you. So, let's start off. Now let us see how to set up APS 7 edition paper formatting in MS Word blank document. I am using Office 2019, or you can have any other version of Microsoft Word like Office 365 or any previous version. The method would be more or less the same. So let us get started. Click on New to open a blank document. Now this is a blank document with some default settings which you have to change to match with the APS 7 recommendations. The first thing that you need to check is the layout settings. Go to the layout tab from the upper ribbon. Click on the margins. Click on the custom margin option. It will open a page setup dialog box. By default, top, bottom, left and right margins are set to 2.54 cm, which is equivalent to 1 inch. And APA 7 also recommends to keep 1 inch margin from all sides. Older versions of Microsoft Word provide margins in inches, whereas new versions like Office 2019 and Office 365 provides these in centimeters. To check if margins in centimeter are equal to 1 inch, open a calculator. Change to length and put inches to 1 and check the converted value in centimeters, which is exactly 2.54 centimeters. Go in the paper tab. By default, paper size is set to A4. If not, from the drop down options, select A4. Go to the layout tab. Make sure that the header and footer from the edge are set to 1.27 centimeters, which is exactly equal to half inch. By default, it is set to 1.25 centimeters. So let us make it 1.27 centimeters here. Click on OK to apply the changes made. The next thing that you need to do is to insert a header. To do that, double click on the top section of the page, or you can activate header from the insert tab. Choose header and insert blank header. Here you need to take an important decision, that is, in what type and size of font you wish to write your entire paper in. APA 7 provides several choices in sans serif and serif category of fonts we have seen. Choose any font type and size you like from the list of fonts and font size provided by APA 7. I am comfortable with Times New Roman 12 point font. Type a shortened title of your paper as a running head in uppercase. Press Tab key on your keyboard twice to come to the end of the header line. Go in the Header and Footer Design tab. Select page number. Choose current position and insert as a plain number. This shortened title as a running head is not required in the student paper unless otherwise instructed by the instructor or institute. Double-click on the main page to close header and footer, or you can close it from the Header and Footer Tools Design tab. Go in the Home tab, and again you will have to select the same font and font size you have used in the header section, as Microsoft Word regard header and footer sections different than the main page section. For paragraph settings, click on this Paragraph Settings dialog box launcher. In the spacing section, set spacing before and after to 0. By default it would be set to before as 0 but after as 8 points, so make it 0. Line spacing by default is set to multiple at 1.08 lines. Choose a double spacing from the drop down menu. Click on the Set as Default and save these settings for this document. Again launch the Paragraph Settings dialog box. This time click on Tabs. Ensure that the default tab stops at 1.27 cm, that is half inch. If it is not 1.27 centimeters, make it 1.27 centimeters. If appearing in inches in the older versions of Microsoft Word, set it to 0.5 inches. Click on OK to apply. Okay, so you have that done. Now you can get ready to put in full title of your paper. Press enter 3 to 4 times to reach to the upper middle part of your first page. Center align. Select bold and start typing full title of your research paper in title case. Press enter twice to leave a double spaced blank line. Deselect bold. Type full names of all authors of the paper. Press enter. Write affiliation information, usually your college or university name or the organization you are working for. Press enter 7 to 8 times to reach to the lower middle of the first page. Select bold. Type author note in title case. Press enter. Left align to type author note. Press tab key to give first line indent of half inch. This usually consists of sponsors information and contact information of the authors, such as address of institute and email address. Adjust the number of blank lines to fit in the author note on the first page. Insert a page break to move to the next page. Center align to type abstract in bold and title case. Press enter. Align left, deselect bold and start typing abstract. Don't apply first line indent for the abstract. Press tab key to give first line indent to keywords by half inch. Type keywords and colon in italics. Type keywords next to it in lowercase, separated by comma. Do not end with a period. Insert a page break. Type full title of your research paper in bold, centered and title case. Press enter, deselect bold, left align, press tab key to give first line indent and start typing main body of your paper. Use appropriate levels of headings recommended by APA 7 we have seen before. Now let us assume that you finished writing your paper till page 9. Now you need to put in a reference section on page 10. Center align, select bold to type references in title case. Press enter, left align, deselect bold. Set hanging indent of half inch from home tab. Type in the reference. You can add analysis tables and figures if any after the references, each starting on a new page. Now we are done with major formatting settings. Another difficulty many people face is in inserting footnotes in footer section. Let us say I want to insert a footnote on page 7 and I double click in the footer section to activate it. Let's say I want to insert footnote 1 and footnote 2 here. Before you type in, change the font to match with the rest of the document. Here it is Times New Roman. Keep font size to default. Switch to superscript from the Home tab. Type 1. Deselect superscript. Give a space and type your footnote here. Same goes for footnote 2. Press enter. Of course, you won't be typing these words as footnote 1 and footnote 2, but actually typing footnotes here. Note here that APA recommends to type footnotes in default font size and line spacing. This line spacing is not double spaced, but is set to 1 by default, and font size is also set by default to 10.5. Double click in the main page section to close header and footer. Now problem here is these footnotes are inserted on all pages. For example, I want footnotes only on page 7, but this footnote is there on page 8 and all the remaining pages, and even before, like page 6 also has the same footnote. I want footnote only on page 7. For this, we need to learn how to insert different footers for each page. There is no option to choose this page only in Microsoft Word footer format settings. Now I want to insert footnote on page 7. For this, you need to go to the previous page, that is page 6 in this case. Bring cursor to the end of the last line of page 6. Go in the Layout tab, click on Breaks, insert next page break. Now this will insert a new paragraph on the next page, which you can remove by pressing backspace. Double click in the footer section of page 7 on which you want to insert footnotes. Now sequence here is very important. First you need to turn off the link to previous feature by clicking on it. And then type your footnotes. Click in the main page section to close the footer. Now if you see, footnote is not there on previous pages like page 1 to 6, and footnote is inserted on page 7 which we desire, but these footnotes are present on all following pages like page 8, page 9, and so on. To remove it from the following pages, move the text cursor to the end of the last line on page 7. Go in the Layout tab, click on Breaks, select Next Page Break. This again will insert a new paragraph on next page, which you can remove by pressing backspace. Go to the end of page 8. Double click to activate footer. Deselect the link to previous feature and remove these footnotes. Double click in the middle of the page to close footer. And that's how all footnotes on the following pages are removed. Now we have footnotes only on page 7, which we desire. This way, you can insert unique footnotes in the footer section for whichever page you require. This method to insert a footnote is tricky. Another easy option is available in the References tab. Go in the References tab. Move text cursor to the end of the word or line for which you want to insert a footnote. For example, let's say I want to insert a footnote here after validity word. So I've moved my text cursor to the end of this word. Click on Insert Footnote from the References tab, and it will automatically insert a section at the bottom of the page wherein you can type a footnote. Make sure that the font type matches to the rest of the document. Keep the font size and line spacing to default. So basically you just need to match the font type and keep other options unchanged. Here we have used Times New Roman. So go in Home tab, select this superscript 1, change it to Times New Roman and type in your footnote. Let's say I want to insert one more footnote on the same page for the second last line. So I'll move my text cursor at the end of this line. We'll go in the References tab, click on the Insert Footnote, and it will automatically insert the second footnote. Type footnote here, and again make sure that the font matches to the rest of the document. So go in Home and change font to Times New Roman. This footnote does not become a part of footer section but is allowed in the APA style paper. So you can use this option instead of going for the tricky option in which footnotes become part of the footer section. Next up we have line spacing shortcuts. These are less known but are handy shortcuts. Use Ctrl+1 for single spacing, Ctrl+2 for double spacing, and Ctrl+5 for 1.5 line spacing. Line spacings you can change from the paragraph settings options as well. In the next set we have alignment settings. Use Ctrl R for right alignment, Ctrl L for left alignment, Ctrl E for center alignment, and Ctrl+J to justify lines. Ctrl J distribute text evenly between the margins. Justified text gives your document clean, crisp edges so it looks more polished. It is usually recommended by the instructors in assignments and thesis or dissertation submissions. The next set we have paragraph formatting. Use tab key for the first line indent by ½ inch, provided it is set to ½ inch in paragraph settings. You can set it to any other desired value. Every single press of tab will indent first line by a set value, ½ inch for example. Use Ctrl+T for hanging indent. By default it should be set to ½ inch as recommended by APA 7. Use this indent while typing references. While writing quotations in the research paper, if it is of more than 40 words, APA recommends to add it in a block quotation. Block quotation is nothing but the entire paragraph of quotation is indented by half inch. That can be done by keeping the text cursor anywhere in the paragraph that you want to indent and use shortcut Ctrl plus M to indent the paragraph. Next up we have font formatting shortcuts. Use Ctrl plus B to bold the text. These shortcuts usually work as toggle keys. So if you again press Ctrl B, it will deselect the bold. Use Ctrl plus I to italicize the selected text. Use Ctrl plus Shift plus equal to for superscript. This also work as a toggle key. If you again press Ctrl plus Shift plus equal to, it will bring back your text cursor to normal. Use Ctrl plus equal to for subscript. This also work as a toggle key. Use Shift plus F3 to cycle through case formats for your selected text. Available formats are sentence case, lowercase, uppercase, title case, and toggle case. Toggle case reverses whatever is there. Ctrl C and Ctrl V we usually use to copy paste text, but by default, the paste option in the Microsoft Word is set to keep source formatting, which will apply the source formatting of the copied text to the text that we paste. Font type, font color, bold, underline, and other formatting options for example, which we generally don't want in our paper document. To paste it as text only, click on the paste option and select keep text only. This will paste the text in the format we have saved for this particular document. If this fails, you can select that text and apply clear formatting option from the home tab. This will remove all sort of formatting from the selection, leaving only the normal unformatted text. Next up we have line break and page break shortcuts. Let's say I want this index citation to start as a new line. Now if I press enter, it will make it start as a new paragraph. But I don't want to break it as a new paragraph, but a new line. To insert a line break, use shortcut Shift plus Enter. The second shortcut in this set we have is page break shortcut. Use Ctrl plus Enter to insert a page break. Let's say I type this paragraph and I want to type next paragraph on a new page. Generally people keep pressing enter till they reach to the next page. But this is not an appropriate way to do it. Simply move your cursor at the end of the last line and press Ctrl plus Enter, and you will directly move to the first line of the next page. Editing text. Shortcuts in this set will help you to save time while editing a document. Usually to delete a typed word, you use backspace. Backspace delete one character to the left. Use shortcut Ctrl plus backspace to delete one word to the left. Delete key on your keyboard, delete one character to the right. Use shortcut Ctrl plus delete to delete one word to the right. Ctrl plus V will paste the last copied text. What if you wish to paste a previously copied text? To see previously copied text, go in the Home tab and click on the Clipboard launcher. Here you can see all the text that you have copied. Each time you copy something new, for instance I copy this line, it gets added to the clipboard, from where you can paste any copied text as and when required. Clipboard can save up to 24 items at a time. With every item added after the 24th item will result in the loss of initially copied item. Similar clipboard can be accessed in any other app by pressing Windows key plus V. But for this function to work, you need to activate clipboard history from the system settings. Next up we have is split screen feature. Imagine you have to refer to a web page or any other document for that matter while typing your paper. You usually keep on switching between two open windows, which consumes a lot of time and is very inconvenient. Multitaskers rejoice. Microsoft offer you split screen option in which you can see two opened windows on the same screen at a time. To activate this feature, press Windows and right or left arrow to arrange one selected window. Select another opened window you want to refer. Now you can see two windows at the same time on screen. It makes copy pasting and referring to another document much easier. You can arrange three windows as well by arranging the size of each window as per your requirement. I often use this feature to watch cricket match or news while working. However, I will recommend you to not to use it for entertainment purpose while working on your research project. Next up we have N- and M- shortcuts. N- and M- are often used in research paper writing. Use Ctrl plus hyphen, that is dash, on your keyboard to insert an N dash. Use Alt plus Ctrl plus hyphen to insert an M dash. Next up we have is selecting text shortcuts. Use Ctrl A command to select all. Shift plus left or right arrow extends your selection by one character at a time. Use Ctrl plus Shift plus left or right arrow to extend your selection by one word at a time. Ctrl plus Shift plus Home extends your selection to the beginning of the text document. Ctrl plus Shift plus End extends your selection to the end of the document. Next set of shortcuts will help you to move around in a document. Ctrl plus End will move you to the end of the document. And Ctrl plus Home will move you to the beginning of the document. Use function key F5 to open a Find in dialog box with the Go To tab selected, so you can quickly move to a specific page, selection, bookmark, and so on. Remember to press Fn key before pressing F5 if you are using laptop. The next shortcut is my personal favorite and is extremely helpful. Use Shift plus F5 to move to the last point you were editing in case you move the text cursor to some another location. For instance, let's say I'm editing on page 4 somewhere in the middle of this paragraph, and I suddenly remember to see something which I have typed on page 7, for example. Then I move to page 7 to refer to that thing. After reading that, now I want to move to the previous point I was editing, but unfortunately I don't remember where exactly I was editing this document. At this point of time, shortcut Shift plus F5 will make me move to the exact last location where I was editing in this document. If you just opened a document, Shift plus F5 will make you move to the last point you were editing at before closing the document. If you keep pressing Shift plus F5, it will cycle through the last three locations where you were editing. Moving to the last and one of the most important features, proofing and thesaurus. For proofing, that is spelling and grammar check, use function key F7. F7 runs a spelling and grammar check. You can make changes one by one till the message pop-up spelling and grammar check is complete. Shift plus F7 opens the thesaurus. Thesaurus is a section that contains list of words and phrases with similar meanings. If you have a word selected, Shift plus F7 looks up that word in thesaurus. For example, I have this characteristics word selected and I press Shift plus F7. It will open up thesaurus, which will show me similar words to the word characteristics. I can check all and replace characteristics with a similar word if I want. Let's say I want to replace characteristics with word qualities. I'll click on this small arrow and click on insert option. This will insert the word qualities in lieu of characteristics. And the best part is both these options, proofing and thesaurus, work without internet. So even if you are offline, you can always take help of proofing and thesaurus options which are available free of cost. If you are connected to internet, the Office store will help you to get a free or premium dictionary which can help you to find the meaning of selected word. The last important feature to cover here is how to convert your document. If you open the same Word file in different versions of Microsoft Office, formatting usually changes. This makes it difficult to print Word files when you are printing it from PC other than the one you have used to type or edit the document in. Converting Word documents to PDF help you to retain the exact formatting no matter in what type of PC you open it in. To convert Word document into PDF, use shortcut F12 to open a Save As dialog box. Change save type as PDF. You can select the desired folder and edit file name. Before saving, pay attention to optimize for options. Make sure that you select standard, publishing online and printing option. Click on the tools drop down menu and select compress pictures. Check on delete cropped areas of pictures and set resolution to high fidelity, which preserves quality of the original pictures. And then click on OK and finally save the document. Thank you so much for your overwhelming response. Please check the video description section for the link to fill up an e-certificate form. This link will get activated immediately after this stream ends and will be active till 10 p.m. tonight. Please note that it will take around 8 to 10 days for our technical team to generate an e-certificate for you and will be sent on your registered email address. Videos of both sessions will be available on my YouTube channel, so you can watch these as and when required in future. Thank you.